Alright guys, this is the stuff you're going to need for the project of extending your 360 swing arm. You're going to need a Sawzall or any kind of metal cutting saw to cut the swing arm. We choose a Sawzall because that's what we got. You're going to need a Dremel tool or some sort of tool to deburr the seam welded burr that's on the inside of the swing arm. You're going to need another sort of grinder to clean the paint off for welding. Files are good to have around to deburr minor things, you know. Rubber mallet to get your extension started. It's going to be a press fit. You might need a bigger hammer. Then ER70S2 filler metal is the best for your 4130 chrome moly to mild steel. And this we're going to use 1/8 inch because that's the thickness of the wall of the swing arm. And then your basic TIG torch, you're only going to need about 120 amps to do it, so that's no big deal. Alright guys, this is your stock swing arm, your stock brake arm. This is what you're going to receive when you buy the kit. 2 swing arm extensions and the brake arm extension. First things first, what we like to do when we cut them is we use the weld here on the dropouts as a guide to keep it straight in the same spot. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the same spot because the extensions are exactly the same length, so that's going to set where your dropouts are. So we got our swing arm all fixtured up in a vise, and I'm going to show you here where we're going to cut it. Right here I was talking about that weld, so we're going to make a cut here, same on the other side, trying to keep them in the same place. We're going to use the Sawzall we saw earlier. So at the lower speed it'll cut real nice and easy. And then you got your cut, nice and straight. And we just got to do the other side. Alright guys, we're going to take off that burr from the seam weld on the swing arm right now. Alright, after you use the carbide burr on the Dremel or a air die grinder, you're going to want to switch over to a drum sanding disc, and you're going to want to get the inside of this whole thing nice and smooth. You know, smooth by touch is all you need. Then we took a file and we deburred this outside here. And then I took the drum sander and I put a little bit of a chamfer on the inside just to help us press in the extension. Alright, the end piece of the swing arm, you're going to want to do the same exact thing as you did with the swing arm. You're going to want to clean that burr from the seam weld up. Alright, next step, we're going to clean the paint off for welding. You're going to want to take about 1/2 inch of the paint off for welding. Alright, we deburred this all the way around, at least 1/2 inch. Next step, we're going to press in the extensions. Now I know you guys are probably thinking pressing it in, you're going to want to use lube. Lube's for the bedroom, not this. You're going to have to weld this later. You do not want any oil in there for any outgassing to ruin the weld. It's very important. You don't use this shit. Alright, as you can see, we tapped our extension all the way in. It's a tight fit, so you got to make sure it goes in nice and straight. It should go in nice and straight. You're going to have to hit it. So if you notice here, we have about 1/8 of an inch gap, and that's on purpose. If you look at your extension, there's a step cut here, and this step is intentionally there so there's room to put weld in. Like I said earlier, we're using ER70S2 filler metal, 1/8 inch diameter. I got a 1/16 2% thoriated tungsten. Running about 105 amps on the Miller Dynasty 200DX TIG welder. As you can see, we got the swing arm extension welded in 360 degrees all the way around. This part of the job, the welding, you're going to want to, if you have any doubt in your welding, your TIG welding skills, have someone that knows what to do and do it. Alright guys, we got our piece welded all the way around. Now it's time to press it into the other piece of the swing arm. Very, very important. Make sure you're putting this in the right way. You got to make sure the markings for your chain tensioner are facing outwards, and you got to make sure that your shock bushing mount is opposite your brake stay mount. And then once again, hold it straight. If you get any snags, pound it in, starts cocking on you, whatever, pull it out, make sure you got the burr from the seam weld on the tube completely gone. Alright, you got it started, you've made sure it's nice and straight, it's ready to go in the rest of the way. Normally we would use a hydraulic press to press this in, but we know a lot of guys in the garage don't have that, so we're going to use a mallet. The only thing you got to watch for is you don't smash these ends up too bad so it's unrepairable. At the end, we're going to have to come in here either with a file or the Dremel tool and just clean this up a little bit, re-round these a little bit just to make it look good again. Alright guys, we got both of these in there. This is the mushrooming I was talking about earlier. We're just going to clean it up with the grinder. We got both our extensions pressed in. We got it halfway welded up. We have our stock wheel mounted in the swing arm. We pulled it all in tight. It's going to pull in a little bit, which is fine. Now, what we're going to do is, we did it already, you're going to measure from the center here to the center of your swing arm bushing down there, and make sure both sides are the same. Now it's time to tack the assembly up. We're going to put several healthy tacks on there. You don't want this thing to move once you take the wheel off. Alright, we've finished welding our swing arm. It's complete. Now the next step is the brake stay. It's the same exact thing as the swing arm. All you got to do is repeat the steps you saw earlier.